being a keyboard player, tonally speaking, it's a big deal for me because I have seen, not only have I seen technology in all aspects, but in the realm of keyboards bring great things, I've also seen technology bring some cheesy ass shit. And I feel like even some modern salsa music, a lot of modern music, modern African music, I love all these forms. Again, it's a cultural study of the world. And in many ways, I mean, it's, again, I can't help but tie music and culture together, but you know, you see people and they're doing their thing, and you got like white people do their rock, and black people do their rap, and Latin people do the Latin stuff, and African people do the African stuff, and people are closing themselves off to the world if they think in these old-fashioned terms like, well, if you're not African, you can't make African music. The world we live in has been brought together by this technology also, and so you're cheating yourself if you don't think that you can tap into these cultures and musics. And in the same respect, a lot of cheesy ass keyboard sounds have come out of that shit. So I feel like in my music, not only just in my music as a player, I want to bring some more authentic vintage sounds. I mean, it's all over now. It's really come back, and I don't know if I was a forerunner to it or a follower to it, but I think I'm somewhere in the middle. But I love the old sounds. I love the piano. I love the Fender Rhodes. I love the Hohner clavinet. I love the Hammond B3. These sounds are very, very rich and real, and there's even some synthesizers that I really dig, but some that I really don't. I sat at this little setup right here from like 1 in the afternoon to like 5 a.m. writing, and I wouldn't have known if an hour would have gone by because I was just like engrossed. The next thing I know, it was like 14 hours later. It's like, it's that fine line between being at your true, I don't give a fuck, artistic self, no consequences, just do what you feel, and being like, okay, I'm a musician that's trying to make this work as a lifestyle, and I need to know some of the business ends of it, and I need to know how to take care of some of that business. And so at some moments over the last couple years, it's been a huge learning curve, but at some times I've been like, wow, I'm so glad I fucking finally got to sit down at my piano and play some shit, because I've been so busy with other aspects. I mean, there's been crazy weeks. I remember having conversations with you about just crazy weeks where I've even been in town, just gig to gig to gig to gig, 2-3 gigs in a day. It's great. I love it because I'm going to play this crazy dub wedding, playing at the Knitting Factory in New York, going to Duke University to play for some college kids, going to grade schools to play, going to Beloit College to play for this like beginning of the year festival, you know, playing at some fashion show with another reggae band I play with in Milwaukee. This is a really weird fashion show we played. It's fun, but there's all those things is what you need to do to make ends meet. Since my father passed away, I've been on a mission. I've been so driven. I guess part of it is just that, I don't know, he did so much in his life, you know, he really touched so many people, and it was like, when I moved to New York, I was like, oh, you know, I would have these thoughts of, you know, obviously the family's really strong, so I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I want to leave my family, you know, I'm just gonna go to New York and find my way in the world, and, you know, after I've been touring the world for a few years, man, we're gonna go hang out, have a beer, you know, with the kids inside sleeping, and we're gonna just rap on the porch, and have plenty of time to catch up later. Like, especially with my dad, we had a really strong bond. I mean, any father and son, but, you know, we had a really, really strong bond, and I just had these great little fantasies of life can change like so fast. Don't kid yourself that anything is for sure in life, and don't kid yourself that there'll always be time later to come back around to it. I mean, I was always driven before that, but again, I wasn't like, my type A wasn't quite as prevalent. It came out in some ways, but I just feel like his love, maybe there's a little part of my dad that I know he did great things, and he loved music, and music is always a passion of his and pastime that he found so much joy in. But part of him, as hard as it was for him to accept that I had chosen the path of being a musician, which is not an easy path, I mean, which is not like, there's not security in it, there's not like, you know, a pension or or raising a family on that kind of income, because you ultimately, you really do, you give up a comfortable way of life if you're going to be trying to reach that emotional level with yourself and get in touch with your soul. But I do think that part of him, you know, obviously with his love, that there was a part of him that part finally came to really accept and embrace me choosing that lifestyle, is that he kind of wanted to, you know, there's part of him that would have loved to have made that lifestyle choice. So, yeah, so I think that I took those two things, my passion for wanting to have a life of music and making music and sharing music and having this really strong work ethic and drive, and maybe it's my obsessive compulsive side in some ways holding on to it, really wants to be like, Dad, this is your legacy and I'm not going to let it die. That one's Ferdinand's Lament. It's about this albino frog